Where is Mez in the Sky podcast? How the hell are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. You know, just another day, another interview on a rainy day.
Always.
I don't know how the weather is there, but it's pouring down here.
Yeah, it's actually raining over here too. I went to the mall earlier today, and as soon as we hit the mall, like we just went outside and it just started pouring. Like shirt got wet, everything. It was just stupid.
Yeah, fuck that. It probably traveled up. Where are you from again? You say Atlanta?
Yeah, I'm in Atlanta currently.
No, are you from there?
Nah, I'm not from there. I'm actually from up north. Nowhere I'm gonna actually say specific, but I'm from up there where the cold and the snow is at.
Okay, I feel you. I feel you. What was it like there? Like coming from there? How long were you there? Type shit.
Majority of my life, really. Um, it was like, of course, since it was like a really bad neighborhood and stuff like that, and like my parents working all the time. Um, I was also homeschooled throughout most of my life, so I've been, either at the house, like reading books, doing like curriculum and stuff like that, and going to like the Boys and Girls Club, going to the park or some shit like that. So I have been like exposed to like really like bad shit that just be going on out in the public because it wasn't the best neighborhood.
So like they would homeschool you. Why? Like what was the reason? Just like
Oh, the
shelter you
purpose
from the bad
behind it?
shit.
Not necessarily. All right, so not necessarily. Of course, there's pros and cons to like homeschooling a kid.
Always.
Is like, of course, learned the regular stuff that you would learn in public school. The cons behind it was like I had to actually break myself from being like very antisocial. I had an issue with communicating to people. As I started being exposed to like other people, in the public and stuff like that. But other than that, as far as like education, I feel like it was really off. It was very different and off course from what you would get from like a public school. Cause like I was really like I was reading freaking I was like understanding like watching like The Secret, understanding like manifestations. I was learning chakras and like Middle Eastern beliefs and stuff like that. So the it was really just very broad. It was a whole lot of things that I learned rather than just like, math, history and stuff like that. So it was quite I can say it was quite different from like when I have like, conversations with other people that, grew up most of their life going to like school and stuff like that. I've never been to a high school before. But um since I kind of knew how the game was, I kind of like just finessed it, got my GED at 16, went to college at 17, and graduated at 18.
You
Yeah.
graduated college at 18.
Yeah.
Damn. Yo, could you do me a
So
favor? Could you like your lights are flickering?
they are.
Yeah, something's making the frame rates drop. It's like flickering, and every
Let
time
me
it
see.
happens, it just the frame rates go to shit. Oh yeah. That's
How's
good.
that?
That's good. That's good. That's good. But
Cool.
so you graduated college at 18.
Yeah,
What
I
what
did.
what kind was it? Just like a gen ed? Is that what you got, or like what was that?
It was a associate's degree from marketing management.
Okay, and how old are you now? I don't think I asked you.
Right now, I am 20.
20. Okay, so you're a year younger than me. You're out here, bro. You got your college degree. Out here in the rap
I
game. You're
know.
on the podcast. You're going crazy, bro.
Oh shit. Fuck.
But fuck. Um. So, how would you, if you could go back and change, like whether or not you were brought up homeschooled, would you change it or would you just like?
Honestly, I um of course there's things that I wish happened and stuff like that, but there's always imperfections. On certain aspects and stuff like that, it was points where homeschool kind of felt like a sort of like a slavery thing because, you know, um, one parent, they're very free. They allow me to do a lot of things and stuff like that. They allow me to learn whatever I wanted to learn, whatever my focus was and stuff like that. Then I have like another parent that was more strict on certain things, and whatever, let's say like my dad's belief was, he would kind of like enforce that kind of belief onto me. So like I actually grew up Muslim. So, and it wasn't even like my choice of it, but that was like, that was his choice. And it didn't feel really free as far as, making a choice with your own life, because like, I feel like sometimes people forget, especially people that have children, they tend to forget that we didn't come from you, we came through you. At the end of the day, you're going to be your own person. You're going to want to make your own life decisions regardless. So, of course, there's gonna be things where I wish things was like a little bit better, but at the same time, where I'm at right now, I'm completely satisfied. I'm progressing, and if this is what it is, then I actually wouldn't want to change anything in the past, regardless.
That's you can't. I wasn't asking you like, do you regret how you grew up? Because obviously you can't change that. That makes you the person who you are. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, you don't seem like the type of person that grew up like, I guess the stereotypical like homeschool person per se. You know what I mean? Like, you always picture someone just
Yeah,
being like
it catches
awkward.
people off guard.
You're super extroverted from what we've talked before, and like yada yada
Mhm.
yada, and just from like social medias in general.
Yeah, I really had to break myself into that kind of stage right there, because before that I was very introverted, to be honest. Like, it would be very hard to hold a conversation. Sometimes it actually is very hard to hold certain conversations. Like, sometimes it's here and there, could barely say anything to anybody and stuff like that. But at the same time, you know, it's better than how it used to be. So at this point in my life right now, I feel like I'm just building myself into the person that I should and I want to be.
Okay, so who who are you now, and who do you want to be?
Um, I'm just like, honestly, best example, um, cells in your body. They in 7 years, all cells in your body will be absolutely replaced, and you will be an absolutely new person. Your skin will be replaced, your organs will be replaced, everything. So I am not going to be one person. Maybe what I'm doing right now could be a phase. I'm pretty sure that it might be. I can change very. I see myself changing a lot through my life and stuff like that, because
What do you
I'm
mean by
like,
what you're doing right now? Just like music in general?
yeah. I can't say that I would be doing music forever. Who's to say that maybe I would even be enjoying to do music forever and stuff like that? But, you know, and it even goes down to deeper as far as like the kind of music that I make and stuff like that. Some people are dedicated to the sounds that they like. I'm not dedicated to the sounds that I like. I've switched it up very, very quick. I like um first songs that I really started listening to on my own, I really enjoyed like dubstep music and stuff like that. Then I started getting into hip hop. Then I started getting into rock music. Then it's like sometimes it really just shifts. I'm still learning new things every day that accommodates my life, and I pick little things that I would like to abide to my life, to like temporarily create whatever ideology that I am right now. Technically, nothing would be forever. Um, I'm just I'm just progressing and I'm changing over time.
So what are some other things that you could see yourself like not necessarily or never mind. So I kind of want to talk about the music a little bit more because, this is a music podcast. So
Hmm.
you say it's just a phase. Do you mean like that's such like I feel like calling something a phase like I don't know, it kind of has like a bad sort of stigma to it in my eyes. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
you're saying, "Oh, that's just a phase. That's just a phase." But would you say like it's a phase to get you to your next
Yes.
like okay.
Like it's not like I'm just like, okay, I like making music and then I'm gonna stop. It's more like I like making music. Now I'm like teaching myself to be a drummer. I'm being a guitarist, and I'm kind of like going into that. I'm like becoming more of, rather than just being. I started off as a rapper, and at this point right now, I am now a musician. So how I usually learn things is I basically teach myself one thing at a time. That takes all of my focus. So if I want to become a singer, I'm literally just gonna like stop for a while of like rap music, start making a lot of songs where it has a lot of melodies and I'm singing and stuff like that. Currently, right now, um, I've been making guitar instrumentals and stuff like that. Like I hook up the amplifier and I start recording on my mic and stuff, making like different sounds. I've been getting a lot into producing a lot more actually, and that's like one of those things where it's like a phase, because once it's one new thing that I learn, I put 100% of my focus into it, and that's all that it is that I'm really going to be doing
See,
for the time being.
that's where fucking rappers like level the fuck up is when they start producing. Like
Yeah.
that's literally where like they
Look
level
at
the fuck
Kanye
up.
West and Travis Scott. They're all like, they're rappers, but they're also their own producers too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because
I
at
can
the end of the
definitely
day,
see that it's going to
like
be a point.
at the end of the day, like you know how to bend your voice and shit the best way possible.
Yes, exactly.
I don't care what anything that goes with like something, and that could even go with like making YouTube videos or Twitch streaming. Like if you're out here editing your VODs and your videos yourself, and at the end of the
Hmm.
day, that's 100% going to be more wholesome than any company editing fucking Dickhead McGee's vlogs. You know what I mean? Like any day,
Exactly. Yeah.
any day.
Especially when you have a vision. And I do tend to always feel like if you want things done, I feel like I'm gonna have to do it myself. And on top of that, I am very like motivated to learn new things all the time. So I have been like editing like mostly all like music videos and stuff like that on my own. Like I had to teach myself to engineer, mix, and like master my own vocals. It's been years since I've actually stepped in the studio. I probably will never be stepping in the studio because I've been doing everything for myself. I don't have a manager. I feel like I've been dealing with all like the contracts and the business aspect of being, an artist. Uh I've been doing all of that for myself, which I'm glad that college really paid off for that, because, marketing management taught me most of that stuff. And yeah, it's not as hard as I thought it would be, but that just plays a part of it, as, always, you got to get shit done, you got to do it yourself. I don't really depend on anybody to do anything for me, but I don't block my blessings. That means if people want to offer as, ideas or help, of course I would take it. That would be a W for me, and I would appreciate it all the time. So,
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something else. My bad.
but yeah, that was it.
um, So let's take more of a step into your personal life again. So you said you grew up Muslim. What was that like for you, and do you still follow the faith?
Honestly, uh, it's a very beautiful, like, all right. I was a part of the Nation of Islam. Um, it's a very peaceful, very beautiful environment, and their beliefs are quite, it was just one of those things where, I was when you're young, uh, you can be told anything, and that's just gonna be your life, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's very beautiful. I really did enjoy quite the experience and stuff like that. Otherwise, how it was enforced on me, I didn't like, which is kind of why it was one of those things where I kind of like faded away from it. It has nothing to do with the religion itself. It's just how it's introduced to me. How it's like one of those toxic enforcements of like religion that children go through, and it usually can make children want to like push away from that and stuff like that. Like kids going to church and stuff, going to church all the time. Next thing you know, they grow up, they don't want to ever go to church ever again. It's like it's basically one of those issues. At this point right now, I'm very, very spiritual. I'm very spiritual uh as a person. Um yeah, I don't have a religion, but I do believe that there is like some higher power. The idea of the higher power being a he or she, I don't believe that's like a thing. It gets really deep and philosophical, of course, but um, spirituality is my thing, though. It definitely is.
See, I've always been on the fence about like being a spiritual person because like I don't believe in ghosts, but like I believe in like karma and like people think about each other at the same time. Those are two things I really believe. But like ghosts and like just like I don't know if you believe in ghosts or anything like that. I'll tell you
Hmm.
something. I'll tell you something on that level that is like annoying. Is like horoscopes. I don't believe in that shit. That's a ruse.
Horoscopes.
That's a ruse.
I can definitely feel you on that. I can definitely feel you on that. Like as far as like people thinking they know you, mm, it's really more like people giving you like horoscopes and also like tarot readings and stuff like that. The idea of how it works is more of they give you information that you're supposed to believe in, and then of course like the law of attraction is supposed to bring that to you, because whatever you get what you think about, and you think about what you want. If you don't, if you want one thing but you're thinking about another thing, you're going to get what you're thinking about. So it's less of people thinking that they just know who you are and they're just gonna read your future and stuff like that, and it's more of they're actually making your future and you're just supposed to believe it. Believe that's supposed to be the outcome. So you start subconsciously rearranging your life into what these people said and stuff like that. What these people say, reading your future, all that good stuff. I think it's a really good tactic, especially if it's for the better good. But the idea that the credibility is focused around I know your future and stuff like that, no, it's not that.
And it's like it's more or less just like insert basic human trait and then like oh I can stick to that. Like if let's just say like every like thing ever said about someone who's a Leo was just like they're fat, lazy, ugly, then everybody who is a Leo
Shit's
wouldn't believe
it's
it.
complete bullshit. It's
Yeah,
complete bullshit.
yeah.
It's the biggest.
It's a scam. Like think about how much money all those websites and pages and apps and fuck even news articles that put ads of it in. Think about like the money. Nuts.
Yeah. See, like, of course, I know for a fact that I have not like dug deep into like horoscopes and astrology and stuff like that as much as I should, where I'm actually saying that I think it's like, like, I don't believe it. But at the same time, the whole idea that you're gonna it like horoscope is almost as identical as like stereotypes for like races and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like basically all Chinese people do this, all black people do this. It's no difference than all like Sagittariuses do this and like all Leos do this and that. It's the same exact strategy, which is why I think it's complete. I don't believe that. You're not gonna tell me that my zodiac sign is like this, we're like this, but I through my whole life and experiences, that's not what that's I can tell you that that's just wrong. But saying that that's wrong, usually that no one really goes goes deep into why most people are false about the things that they say, and it's more taken as a joke where it's like, so what's your sign? Or like, I'm Scorpio. And it's like, oh my god, I hate Scorpios and stuff like that. And just, okay, um, whatever. Shit, I don't care.
That would be me though. Like if someone asked me my sign and then I would ask them theirs, I'm always 98% of the time gonna give you a negative fucking reaction just to fuck with you. I know you care about it. But like
For real.
the thing why horoscopes stick so much is because everybody, I don't care who you are, you crave individuality. You crave it. You like everybody just wants to be their own individual and things like
Exactly.
that and things like having things like races and just saying like all white people do this, all Mexicans do this. Like you said earlier, like it's the same thing and people bite into it. Like now with like races in America, I'm not really gonna get into that, but like there's physical features, but like it doesn't matter. Like we're all people at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day. It's just
Yeah.
bullshit. And I don't talk about that shit really on here because it's not important to the. You know
Yeah,
what
it
I
makes
mean?
sense. Yeah.
I'm not going. No, okay. No, it is important. It is important, but this is messy. It's very messy.
Very controversial.
Very messy. Very controversial. But so you live in Atlanta now. What inspired you to move down there?
Mostly it really like it's really family. Most of my family's out here. So and also college too, because I went to college out here. So, it also has a lot to do with like sort of like a little family like just to escape certain environments, certain dramas that used to always occur. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. So, up north, uh, I was at this park, and you know, there was just a bunch of kids there. It was like 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, and I was like 16 at the time, and we just started having like these roast sessions and stuff like that. So we're just all roasting the shit and whatnot. And I'm a part of it. I'm roasting niggas. I'm fucking destroying niggas. And there's this one guy that's actually taking it a little personal. Like he's getting like a little upset and stuff like that. And it actually escalates where he actually wants to like fight, of course. So um it goes down, we start fighting, and um once he's like at the ground, I just start fucking him up like really bad. I actually ended up dislocating his collarbone, because that's just where I was just rapidly just punching at in the area. And I actually didn't know that this guy was like a part of this gang or something like that. So uh some guy got me off because he started screaming like really loud, and he was like, fuck you, I'm gonna get my brothers on you and shit like that. And I was like, okay. Inside, I was actually quite scared because I didn't know who the fuck these niggas was. I knew in my city, these niggas, that there's always who doesn't have a gun on them. I didn't want to die, you know. I was young as fuck, so I was like, all right, well, fuck this shit. Started running, well, I didn't run, but I just basically went home. I was like, okay, I'm just leaving this area. I did the fight's over, so I'll leave the area. And like a couple days later, it was nighttime. Niggas was like trying to bang down my door, literally. So the thing up north is that
Were you living by yourself
um
or were you like with your people?
no, I was living with my people.
Okay.
See, because this actually happened when I was currently in New York. So what ended up happening was like the thing about the houses, everything is a lot more compact and insulated because of like snowstorms and stuff like that, and keeping insulation and stuff. So they try their complete best to knock down my heavy ass door with like 10 different locks on it. And I'm just standing there and I have like an axe on me and I have like a gun on me and I'm just like waiting for them to open the door. And I'm like, my heart is like completely racing because I don't know who's gonna like open the door. I don't know what they have. I don't know what's gonna happen. But I hear them yelling, like, we're gonna fucking kill you, we're gonna fucking kill you, this, and that. I don't know how they found my address and stuff. So they've been trying to knock down the door for like 30 minutes and then they leave. About 2 hours later, my dad gets home and I'm just sitting there like traumatized. I don't know who's coming through the door. He opens the door and he's like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing?" And I actually break down the entire story about what's going on. And he's like, at this time, my mom is actually in Georgia. I'm with my dad up north. So what actually ends up happening is he's like, okay, you're gonna have to move with your mom now. We can't you can't stay out here no more. It's getting way too dangerous. Um, he's basically trying to like, prevent me from getting like killed and whatnot and shit. So that's like 50% of the reason why I'm actually out here, because I'm like getting into like crazy shit at a young age and shit like that. And you know how parents are. They don't want me to go through stuff. They don't want me to deal with shit like that. So, plus college and shit, that's really mainly the reason why I'm actually out here in ATL. I don't plan to be out here in ATL for long though. I don't. Um so
That's fucking crazy though. Those motherfuckers pull up to your house. Young Mez, 16, defending the door with a gun and a axe. Is that what you said? A fucking axe?
yes. I got one of those
Dude,
those black tomahawks from Walmart. I purchased one of those and I'm
bruh.
just sitting on the couch like this and I'm waiting, and it's like it was like one of those moments where it's like you don't know in 5 minutes if you're gonna live or die. It was a very scary experience for me because it was very brand new to me. I'd never been in situations like that before. Of course,
So,
like I have dealt with like people having me that like shit happens where it's like people try to like rob me and shit like that. Like that's just very frequent out in this fucking terrible neighborhood and shit like that. But like as far as like people targeting specifically you, coming for you, a group of niggas, not gangbangers to be that.
is it like a
It
prominent
was
gang or just like a poop stain gang?
it was one of those gangs that they created.
Oh, poop stain gang. Okay.
Yeah, it was one of those gangs that they created, but it was a lot of them.
Oh,
It was
okay.
like basically it was like the whole East Coast was that kind of gang. You feel me? It was like one of those.
Okay, okay. So you don't fuck with them.
I honestly, all right.
Have you heard anything about it?
I
Like,
respect gangs. Like I know, yeah. I was fully aware of what the gang was and who the gang was, and like of course I had like a couple friends that was a part of the gang and stuff like that. But um, as far as the entire gang coming after me, it was like, oh, okay, that's like a whole different story, because as far as I'm concerned, I only had a one-on-one fight with one individual, had nothing to do with his gang or his background or anything like that. And
so just
then
on some
now
bullshit, some
yeah,
teenage bullshit.
yeah, it was just a teenage one-on-one bullshit. So at the end of the day, I of course I understand how ignorant certain gangs can be and certain people inside gangs can be, but I do respect some gangs because I understand like the purpose of some gangs, where it's It's more for trying to survive, feed the people in your neighborhood, especially in poor neighborhoods. Basically, it's basically like it's basically like a small enforcement. While others, of course, there every business, every corporation, anything, they're always gonna it's always corrupted because the people are always gonna be corrupted. So, for an example, uh, Bloods, Bloods, Bloods and Crips, I believe they both stand for a great cause. I'm actually really glad that they do not have beef with each other anymore. But there's always gonna be those ignorant ass niggas inside those gangs that's gonna be doing some fucked up shit, where it's always gonna cause like a lot of fucking conflict and shit like that, which is never needed. But that's ignorance. That's just ignorance, and sometimes you can't take ignorance out of certain people.
And
And
that's how it goes with like any group. You can say that about anybody. You know, there's like a lot of like really intelligent like Republican people who vote for Trump.
exactly.
You know, like regardless, I'm not a Trump affiliate at all, but like
Hmm.
a lot of people will call anybody who voted for Trump an idiot or a retard or whatever. But like, it's not. That's not the case. Like, you just let the idiots outshine everybody else,
Hmm.
regardless of who, what, when, where, why, or how.
Hmm.
And that goes with gangs too.
Yeah, facts.
I don't really
That's
know
very.
if I'm like on the same wave as you though about like Bloods and Crips. I mean, because like at the end of the day, like not every gang is out here like pulling up on like what's that one movie, fucking Denzel Washington, where he like pulls up, American Gangster, where he pulls up and he like has all the fucking turkeys for like the whole block on
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. Like whenever you're saying like giving back to the community, that's kind of what like I don't really see.
If anything, that's what it should be.
That is what it should be like. That you know that's like a picture perfect like scenario of like someone
Hmm.
a Robin Hood esque character, but like a lot of them like people are fucking shitty and greedy most of the time, and like they're
Yeah.
just really doing shit for their own gain and their own
It's a lot of
position.
individuality where people don't want to give to others because they want shit for themselves,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
that's one of the issues with I would say most gangs and stuff like that, because it's if you're gonna play the role as like who if we can't do it for ourselves, who's gonna do it for us, and be the one to provide for the community, where you're like basically giving out like ice cream to kids when they're outside and shit like that, giving like I've seen it happen. The shit do exist because I actually
Mhm.
do see it
Mhm.
happen, but it's very but the young kids, like the young kids part of the gangs, they're not on that level. They're not on that level. How the young kids roll with that is there's this hierarchy with gangs where they basically send people out to do certain hits, as far as like stealing phones, stealing money, hitting on houses and stuff like that. And that's not how it's supposed to be at all. That's not how
It's
gangs are
fucked.
supposed to be at all.
It's fucked.
Bloods and Crips is supposed to be like fraternities, like Kappas and stuff like that, where you look out for each other when shit goes bad. Robbing people should have nothing to do with this,
It
especially
really
robbing
doesn't
people in
either.
your own community. You should
Yeah.
not go against your own community. That's not how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So people are actually fucking up the idea of what a gang is supposed to be, because a gang is supposed to be as just as equivalent as like Kappas, fraternities, and sororities and colleges is supposed to be.
Think about
It's
it
supposed to
though.
be a brotherhood.
Think about it. Let's just say you you're talking you hit me up and you're like, "Hey man, I just got this fucking crazy ass record deal. I'm gonna go, gang. That's what's up. Like, I'm supporting you. Fuck yeah." And then, or if
Exactly.
you hit me up and you're like, "I just robbed this house and made $500, man." I'm like, okay, like fuck.
All right. Like,
It's like people use that. I mean, I guess it's like kind of washed up how people use the phrase gang. I mean, I honestly, if you hit me up and said you got a record deal, I honestly would not say gang. That would be lame as fuck. But I'll be like, hell yeah, man.
gang. I know. And
I
there's a
wouldn't
lot
say
of
it.
it's crazy because there's a lot of there's a lot of gang record deals too. Like there's actually full blood record deals, not record deals, but like record labels. There's full blood record labels and full Crip record labels where every all the artists is all Crip and like all the artists are all blood. Like those actually exist too. And sometimes you can't even be in those labels unless you like you actually become Crip, we actually become blood. It's
Okay.
wild how big it became now.
I would never join a gang.
Yeah, me neither. Um, I wouldn't do that. I'm just doing me. I don't have to, because when you join a gang, one thing you realize is that everybody in the gang, whatever business and bullshit that they're going through, it's your bullshit too. It's the sad part.
I tell you what, I would
Niggas
join
got
though.
bullshit going.
I tell
What?
you, I would join a commune, like my final
Hmm.
stage is like living in like a eco commune type shit. Think about that, or like just being really close with nature in general. You ever see those people that like
Yeah, that live out in the mountains and shit.
and like just hang out with like 20 bears, like feed them motherfuckers? That'd be lit. Imagine hanging out with a bunch of
Yo, that
bears,
would be. I would do that. I would actually do that too. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
hanging out with those little fuckers.
I would actually live in like one of those what do you call it when it's like a community where they grow their own food, they eat their own food, and everything is self-provided within the community. It's
Yeah,
like
it's a commune.
a
It's a commune.
homestead.
A
Yeah,
homestead.
a commune. Yeah, it's also a homestead too.
Okay. Fuck yeah. Like I don't know. Like I wouldn't want to do that like too young, even though I feel like that would be like the most ample time that you could provide manpower to a community. You know what I mean? Because if you're like 56 years old, you're not really much. You're more of a liability than an asset to the community at that point, as far as it physically goes. But love is love at the end of the day, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It would be kind of selfish just to want to like be old as fuck and then like pull up at this commune and be like, "Hey, you guys gonna put in more work than me?" I mean, that's just how my head works, I guess. If someone loves you, then they'll, go the length to provide for you.
Oh yeah, facts.
So we haven't even talked about your music, and we've been on this bitch for a minute. So how did you get into making music?
All right, so great. It's actually it's a really cool story. So my parents were both musicians. They actually met through Bad Boy Entertainment. And when I was like very young, like I would always be like in the studio with my dad because he was an artist. I always be in the studio like every single day, and I'd just be watching and recording and stuff like that. I thought it was very cool. I had no clue how to rap at all. In the beginning, like very beginning, when I was like 12 years old, he would like try to write me something, and when I try to recite it to him, I just sound like complete trash and shit like that. I was like, okay, maybe rapping isn't for you, maybe rapping isn't for you. And I actually started off as a dancer. I was a dancer with my bros in this group called Trillis. Shout out to J Marquise and Sway Tovin. Um, yeah, so it really started in 2017. It started in 2017. I dropped like my first song was called what was it called? It was called Picture That. It was called Picture That, and I recorded it off of my phone. And I used to use Mixcraft on my grandmother's computer when I used to temporarily live in my grandparents' house. And um, after Picture That, I dropped like two other songs, and then um, I never was really like friends with other artists like at all. So one of the first people that I really met that was an artist was Tokyo, and that was in September of 2017. And he was basically like my first like friend in the game and shit like that. And it was like he was actually one of my first collaborations as well too. And then like it really just built from there. I started meeting more people. I joined Graveyard, like the 444 group, as like my first rap community, like my first rap group, and met more artists from there. I started meeting Clifford. I started meeting Pink, Young Pink, Starboy. A whole lot of people. It's a whole lot of people that I met over time and stuff like that. And the thing is like, with that is with the people that I've been around, because they was the only people that I've been around. I started to they was like my motivation to become better as an artist as well. So I can definitely say that I would actually have no clue where I would be at, how I would be, or how good I would be as an artist as far as like mentally and how I write songs and stuff like that if it wasn't for like the people that's like in my surroundings and stuff, because they was like really my main motivation, and like they gave me the push to actually become better and stuff like that. So we all kind of like started growing from there. It was actually a really great journey. It was a very great journey.
So another thing I was wondering too is how did you get your name? Where is Mez? What does it mean to you?
Um, Name where is Mez? Okay, so during the time when I told you that uh my dad was like, "Yo, you're gonna have to move up to Georgia." Told some of my friends, shout out to Jude. Told some of my boys, I was like, "Hey, yo, listen, I'm moving. Don't tell anybody where I'm going. Just say some stupid shit like I fucking died in a car accident or something. I don't fucking know. Just say something. I don't care." But like, yeah. So they was like, "All right, bet. We'll see what we do." So I leave. And I was quite new to social media at the time too. So it's not like I just had a bunch of friends and shit like that where people could just contact me. So I check like Facebook and shit, and I'm friends with them, and I start seeing like it wasn't like a chant, but it was like everybody was like, "Yo, where is Mez, bro?" Because like before my name was Where is Mez, my name was M for Mez. I was a gamer. I was a big fan of L for Lee. He was a gamer as well on YouTube. So I had my name Infamez in the beginning, and then when niggas was like, it was like fucking 50 people was just like, "Yo, where is Mez? I haven't heard from him in a while." Cause like I'm basically out every day. People see me all the time. We have rap battles and shit like that. Before music, I was doing rap battles all the fucking time. Like niggas would love that shit. Like I'm rap battling everybody and shit. So I saw that name and I was like, I like that. Cool. So I actually take it and I run with it as Where is Mez. As far as like the actual meaning behind Where's Mez, I actually don't give it a meaning at all. Um, it's really ironic that I gave myself that name and how I saw it, but like the thing about it is like it's like very very philosophical, because it's like I really technically don't even know where I'm at or where I would be at myself. So for like this the saying like where is Mez, it's more like saying like you don't know how far he's gonna take things. You don't know what he's going to do. You know, it's just the question itself. My name is a question itself, and the question doesn't have an answer. So it's just a question.
Where
It's
is
one of those
Mez?
questions without an answer.
Where's Mez? Sweet and simple.
It-
What? This is gonna be like a little bit of like an alternative. Where do you think you would be if like you never got into a fight with that kid one day? What would you be
Chances
doing?
are I probably would still end up in Georgia. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm probably still going, but as soon as it happened, then no, I was supposed to really be out in Connecticut until I was 18, and then move to Georgia for college. But I ended up moving out there earlier. Um, as far as like rap, like as far as like where I'm at now with my career and stuff like that, I I can really doubt that I would be where I'm at. I feel like there would be some alternative route that I've taken where I wouldn't be here where I'm at, as far as like with my progressing success, and you know just overall, like me being sitting right here, I probably wouldn't even be sitting right here. I don't know where, I actually don't know where I'll be at, but I just feel like this was the best route that I could have taken. Everything happens for a reason. I believe everything happens for a reason.
No doubt. Even if it's for the good or the bad. And the good is for the good, obviously,
Exactly.
and the bad is for the good. Because you always got to find the good in the bad. That's just
Exactly.
my. That's just.
If the bad things didn't happen, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at now. I can't say that I wish all the bad things never happened because I take everything as lessons, you know?
And if you don't, then like you're a sucker for life. That's
Literally.
just like
Sucker for life.
sucker. Like I hate using that. Like that. I don't know. It's just a weird word, but it's just the best way to put it. Just a sucker. Like
For real. Straight up.
you know what I mean? That like it sounds like some like 1950s. Like oh, he's just another sucker.
He's a jive turkey. I'm weak. But yeah,
so
like
so
honestly, like I feel like lessons really matter because that's how you progress, you deal with shit, and life is all about how you handle shit. No one told you that life is supposed to be beautiful, life is supposed to be perfect. Life is not perfect at all. You're gonna be hit with the most worst shit ever, and it's never gonna happen. You will never escape problems no matter what. It doesn't matter how rich you get, it doesn't matter how poor you are, doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter. Problems will happen in your life, and it's all about how you take it in. Are you gonna take it in as a loss, or are you gonna take it in as a lesson? Like that's really what it's all about. That's mainly the reasons why I really don't get mad at the worst shit that can happen to me anymore, because I take a step back, I observe, I see what the fuck just happened. Life is all about uh fucking up, making a resolution, and then progressing. That's it.
no, it's not about how
Just
you fuck up. I mean, I guess it is about how you fuck up, but I guess it's more about how you make up for it always.
exactly. There's a lot of shit that I feel like I could have killed myself for, but I take it rather than a loss and as a lesson, and I keep moving on from shit. You know,
I feel you. I feel you on that for sure.
I could probably, if I could probably, I can guarantee you that if if alternatively, like in another universe, if I was to ever die from suicide, it's not gonna be because I was like so down, so depressed, so deep in like the blue ocean where I felt like I just had no other choice. It would probably be deeper than that. It would probably be like if anything like that was to ever happen, I feel like it would probably be because like I'm like so like deep into this like spiritual shit where um like I just feel like it's time for me to actually realize, see, and I'm tempted to actually see what it is on the other side and stuff like that because of like certain experiences that I go through, whether it's like through like psychedelics and shit like that, and like DMT and shit like that. Like it's it's like this freaking weird ass weird ass journey where it makes you actually wonder and it makes you less scared of death. That's if it was to even go down that route, there would be I wouldn't be killing myself from like depression, ODing or anything like that. It wouldn't go down that route at all.
So it'd just be more on a spiritual thing.
Very spiritual. Yeah, it would be on a very spiritual aspect on why I would probably like end myself. But that's not how I'm going out. Regardless, that's
No,
not how I'm
no,
going
no.
out.
We definitely can't have nobody going out to suicide.
But
Definitely
yeah,
not.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not going out. I'm not going out at all.
Never ever. I'm just kidding. Everybody has their timer,
I know.
eternal timer, regardless. But like
Tomorrow's promised.
exactly. So you just gotta. And that's the thing. Like I don't even know. Fuck that. But sometimes you just gotta stop digging. So
For real.
what's next for your music, Mister
Next,
Where's Mez?
I am working on a I'm working on the most rawest rock EP, the most rawest. Most of the songs, it's
The
not even gonna
the
have
most
vocals.
rawest, is that what you said?
Rawest, like raw.
Rawest. Oh.
Yeah, it's gonna be so for the culture that is like some of the songs. It's just not even gonna be like me even rapping or singing. I'm dead ass just gonna be playing. It's just gonna be guitar, drums. It's gonna be so into the core like my favorite kind of rock is actually doom metal, so it's gonna be a whole lot of doom metal and stuff like that. um yeah, and then I feel like you're probably gonna get hit with 2 EPs this year, honestly.
How big
uh
each?
it's probably gonna be about
Are they
five
both gonna be
songs
raw?
each. One of them is one of them. The other one's just gonna be, just me doing me, just talking my shit on a crazy ass beat that maybe I produced or maybe one of my boys produced. Keep it real for the culture and the community. You know, it's gonna be fucking awesome, fucking awesome.
I'm excited for the rock one, really, because I've never
I
heard you
am too.
shred. I've never heard you shred before, personally.
I am too, and I honestly should do it on one of my lives someday.
Just fucking sit there and just shred your guitar for like half an hour on Instagram Live. That'd be dope,
Yes,
bro. That'd be so cool.
yes.
I love watching
I
people
need
play
to.
guitar.
What I love playing it. Just it's like it's a different kind of feeling in the music aspect. It's a really different feeling, and I kind of love it just as much as I love, rapping on the craziest distorted 808 beats. It's the same equal amount of love that I get.
Damn, we've been out here, bro.
Hell yeah.
So, is there anything you feel like we didn't cover?
Honestly,
You
yo,
mentioned psychedelics a lot. Like, do you indulge often?
yes, I do. I do, and you know, it's everybody has their own personal experiences with psychedelics and stuff like that. And I just have my own personal journey. This is just for my life and stuff like that. And I it's so funny because like before the whole psychedelic shit, I was like the most heaviest like atheist ever. And I tried person that introduced me to psychedelics was my boy Gloom. Shout out to Gloom. That's my nigga right there. um and like the shit was so like mind opening, eye opening, and everything. It, I was like doing research and stuff about the shit that I saw. Started watching more Joe Rogan videos and stuff about it. Uh, did it a couple more times and stuff like that. And just most recently, like I went into this like I was just going through this like freaking 360 DMT dimension, which was like so fucking weird and crazy because it's like one of those things where it's the same exact what do you call it? It's like the same exact fifth dimension that everybody gets to see at the same time. It's like it's not like it's different in my head and it's different in someone else's head. It's the same exact world that everybody else sees. And when I do the research and I see that everybody's describing like the same exact shit that I would see, which which is so fucking weird. It's like, okay, this is something completely different. When I started doing research to find out that when Moses, like in biblical terms, when Moses goes up to the fucking cave and he smokes from that burning tree, comes to find out that that burning tree, forgot the name of it, but it was that tree that actually the bush that actually produces DMT, and he actually had a Moses had a DMT experience, and it was that experience where he said that he spoke to God, and God was actually within himself this entire time, and he wrote the 10 Commandments. That's like one of those things where it's like, okay, I feel so you're telling me that I'm on I'm on that level where I'm actually like seeing like damn near like the same shit, and these are the same fucking chemicals that that this quote unquote Moses was taken and shit like that. It gets very deep, and now it's like one of those just personal journeys that I would take for myself, just to see where things go and stuff like that. You know, I would never, like, of course, like I'm like a weed nigga. I would smoke weed. I would do like psychedelics and stuff like that. I actually absolutely hate any prescription drugs. I don't think they're supposed to be used for, fun. I don't. That's just me
No,
personally. I don't
nothing,
think they're supposed to be used
nothing.
for fun at all. I make sure I always keep it in a realm where you can't OD from it. It can't kill you. You know. I always take the safe route.
Yeah, it's just really weed's cool. Alcohol, I don't really like it.
Eh, it's like when it could be those special occasion type of things. You know.
Alcohol is what people refer to as like mid. I say alcohol is mid to me. Weed,
Mid, yeah.
weed's the A tier. Weed's the
I
S tier.
actually, I don't like the feeling where I can't control myself. You know.
Alcohol doesn't make me like I can control myself when I'm drunk. Like even the first time I ever got drunk, I could completely control myself. Like I would pop off. I would like pipe up on some dumb shit, but like other than that, like I could like motorly like control myself. Like I wasn't like falling downstairs and shit. Never ever.
Okay, cool. Then that's how you know it's just for other people and shit like that. Because I've seen people, and it's the funniest shit ever when niggas is just fucking falling and hitting their head on desks and shit. And I'm like, yo, nigga, chill, get up, go to sleep or something. Like, nigga, I'm fine. It's like, okay, yeah, I don't want to get on that level of drunk, honestly. 'Cause, like,
That's just absurd.
nah.
Like it's not even fun at that point. Like how are you having fun?
How are you having fun? You
I,
wake up and you have the meanest headache in the world for like
bro, that
5 hours. That's just not fun. It's not fun at all. But I can understand the celebration behind it. I can get it. Like,
I mean, yeah, I guess on like big occasions, but like still though, like it would just be like it's always just more worth it to me just like wake up and just like feel good the next day, like just feel
yeah.
normal, not
I
like
want to feel good the next day. Like, I don't want to celebrate and then wake up and have craziest like headache where it's like some brolic ass gorilla just punch you in your face every 5 seconds. I don't want to feel like that when I wake up.
but then again you're like oh I have such a bad headache and then you think about like the thing that you're celebrating for whatever it is and you're like damn I'm cool or like whatever.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where you just say to yourself, "It was so fun. I was fucked up." Like that's what you live
Yeah.
up to say
Mm-hmm.
when you're drunk. I got fucked up. I got fucking wasted, dude. Like, it's so fucking crazy.
Yeah,
It's that kind of talk.
my alcohol days are behind me for sure. I
It's
mean,
good. That's actually really good.
I was never like an alcohol person, but like I would have like maybe sometimes every weekend for like a month or so. I would drink maybe once every weekend for a month, but like
Hmm.
that's not even bad. Like compared to like motherfuckers are putting face in the bottle every day. I'm like fuck,
Every
man,
single day. Yeah.
and it's like goddamn, that shit's man being addicted to alcohol. Never be me.
Yeah.
Knock on wood though, because you never know, man. You never know when like you never know when you fucking take a sip of tequila and it's like, I want to drink this for the rest of my life. I'm just kidding.
I'm weak.
Fuck. But yeah, fucking drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad if you use it bad.
Yeah, true. Psychedelics, I actually do condone psychedelics. I think that like for your first couple of times, you should like. I don't know. I think it's always good to have someone sober with you.
Yeah. I can definitely say that. Me on the other hand, I'm actually one of those. I will jump off the edge. I will purposely have a bad trip. So what if I don't like? So what if it's not appealing to me? Like, it's been times where like I've been on my trip and I've experienced every single intense fucking emotion that you can ever have and stuff like that. Where it's like I felt like I was so fucking depressed. But then later on during my trip, it's like I'm so happy. I feel so energized. I feel like there's wind blowing in my face. It's like I'm having the best time ever. And I sit back and I realize during my trip, it's like, okay, I literally just experienced every fucking emotion in this one trip where it's like, I feel fucking depressed, like sad, fucking confused. uh I'm having these happy, joyful moments. I'm feeling real intellectual. It's like it's so much. So it's like these bad trips, yeah, these bad trips can be bad, but at the end of the day, I am fully conscious and aware that I'm not gonna fucking die or anything, you know? I'm not gonna die. Okay, so what? I'm having a what you call a bad trip. Yeah, I'm just having a trip. Nothing's supposed to be always good anyways.
Shit
I'm
ain't
just
always
having a trip.
sweet.
Of course I do it safe. Last trip was at Six Flags. That was the fucking craziest shit in my entire fucking life. I was with my boy Millie, shout out to Millie, and came just fucking roller coasters off acid. I don't recommend anybody to do it. I
That
was
sounds
in
fucked.
I was in shock trauma for 3 days. My heart was racing for 3 days off of after that after that moment. It was so fucking weird. It was such a weird, like, time bending experience I've ever had, because by the time the ride was over, in my head it was so scary. By the time the ride was over, because it was like, did I even get on this ride? Like, wait a minute. Like, it's like one of those confusing ass moments that's like
You
real
fucking
scary.
suppress the memory and as a whole.
For real. Honestly, it was so weird. It was so weird.
That's pretty
But
funny.
yeah, like, yeah, it's like, you know, if I'm just gonna say this, if I'm like, if I was a pussy, yeah, I would rather have somebody, to like trip sit me. I'm at the point where I am the trip sitter. Yeah,
Trips at
I feel
yourself.
like I'm at the point where I'm yeah,
And
and
that's good that you're aware that like it's okay to feel this way. That it's
it's
okay to feel this way even like amidst the whole action
exactly.
of it.
This is all a part of the trip. This is supposed to be the experience. The point of the experience is to survive the most intense experience. It's almost like a challenge. It's like a video game. Like, it's like playing Dark Souls on hard or some shit. Like, just survive the experience. Like, okay, once you put that tab on your tongue, there's no fucking going back. You better survive that shit. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, literally, bro. Literally. I mean, I've never dropped acid before, so I couldn't really speak too much on that.
Probably. Have you done shrooms?
Yeah, yeah, twice.
You probably All right, so acid is like, imagine high off shrooms for like 8 to 12 hours straight.
And like, because I know shrooms, you can work your way out of it. Like, you can kind of.
You can work your way out of it. Like, you
What
can
about
actually
what about
force yourself
is it the
to
same
highness.
way with acid?
No,
You can't work like
you
you're stuck.
you can't. As hard, matter of fact, if you try to work your way out of it, you will force yourself into a bad, intense trip. You're not getting out of that trip until the trip is over by itself, like, it's like that.
Damn. Okay. A
Yeah,
lot of people say it's like a
but
lot cleaner too versus shrooms.
it is a lot cleaner, only because the simple fact that you're not really eating anything, and it's just like it's basically just the chemical, it's just the chemicals within the tab itself, that's all it is. You're just taking that, it's going into your brain, and that's it. As far as shrooms and stuff like that, um there's good shroom, there's good shrooms, there's weak shrooms, strong shrooms, and shit like that. And then you got like fucked up people with laced shrooms. So
The fuck? What will they lace it
yeah,
with?
fucking lace it with Molly or some shit.
Oh, I could. Yeah, that
Like,
makes
it'll
sense.
be like it'll be slightly powdered with Molly, and you
Like
won't
where the
even know
spores
it.
are. Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
fucked.
So
That's kind of fucked.
So you can't really do that with a tab. A tab is like,
Yeah.
it's like so fucking tiny, you know? Just, and you'd
Like
be surprised that you
motherfuckers are
can.
making them. Like,
I know,
do you
it's
think it's
literally
possible to make it? That's definitely possible. A man did it,
to make
so
what.
why can't man replicate it to just make acid?
Um, you
Or do you have to have
technically
like
can just
heavy-duty?
if you know if you can literally look up on Google what like all the chemical, chemical, what, just basically the formula of acid. You just need to have that knowledge where you can just know every drop, every little bit. You gotta understand the amount of this and that. You know, it's definitely possible because people do make it. It is acid is a man-made thing. It's literally a paper sheet cut into like hundreds and hundreds of fucking squares.
And
And then
so,
you
like,
just take
they
one,
have
and
like.
that one tab will literally have you busting your ass off for like between 8 to 12 hours.
I love how every episode kind of goes to psychedelics. This one more than others. This is definitely like a top 3 in the sky psychedelics episode.
Hell
Top
yeah.
3, top 3.
Everybody's having their wild experiences, bro. I'm telling you.
And DMT is like your third eye, like your medulla oblongata. However, like you.
DMT is the crown chakra. DMT is definitely the crown chakra. That has passed the third eye. I can definitely be honest with you. Because once you reach DMT, bro, you're talking about cosmic awareness. You're talking about entities. You're talking about seeing literal different dimensions. And it's like the most, it's like the most intense, craziest experience of, it will be the most intense, craziest experience of your entire life. If you ever did DMT, then I can guarantee you for a fact, the world that I saw in my head would be the same exact world that you saw in your head because it actually exists. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Is
one
it
of
really
those
that
type of
crazy?
things. It
Would you
is
put it
really
S
that
tier?
crazy. Matter of fact, I will. You said what?
Is it S tier?
S tier?
Yeah. Or would you put acid above it?
Um, it's all right. Experience wise, DMT lasts up to 20 minutes. It lasts up to 20 minutes. Acid lasts for 8 hours. If we're talking about which one's more fun, um, technically I can say acid is more fun, but what's more mind opening is the DMT. That 20 minutes will feel like 5 hours and you won't even know it. You won't even know it. You would think that you was in this fucking realm for like 5 hours doing just observing it. But in reality, once you snap out of it, your 20 minutes has went by. That's gonna be the crazy shit that's gonna fuck with you. You're gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, I've been here for such a long ass fucking time and only 20 minutes went by. That's gonna fuck with you. It's gonna really fuck with you. I'm telling you. Now I now if you ever get to that level, you really have to be like experienced with like acid because like some
Mm-hmm.
people would freak the fuck out because they just don't have any like previous experience. People freak the fuck out when they see the shit. And you also experience like a little sort of ego death where it feels like you're actually trying to, it's like when you yourself as a person or what you identify yourself as doesn't apply to you anymore, and you just feel like this energy and you feel like you're losing yourself, where you start forgetting what your name is, you start forgetting how old you are, you forget that you have parents, you start forgetting a lot of things about your life, and you just feel like this energy living a human experience. It's gonna be like, it's very scary, but it's like a very humbling experience as well.
See, I haven't really experienced too much with psychedelics, just like borderline, just like a little bit. It's like, but it does. It sounds like something that I would, because what you said, where it is as acid, be more like fun because it's 8 hours, and then DMT is like it makes 20 minutes seem like 5 hours. Like that sounds fucking absurd to me.
Yeah, yeah. And also it's it's like that with acid too. See, it's two ways, it's two streets to that. um what makes acid feel so long is that, like, you're over here, like, the thing is, acid puts you in this state where you are the most conscious and the most present, like literally present. That means you can't. It's very hard to think about what happened yesterday. You can only think about what's going on right now, moving forward. That's it. So the thing is, when you check the time after you take a tab, like let's say 30 minutes went by, that 30 minutes also can feel like 2 hours. And you're like, what the fuck? 30 minutes went by? Oh fuck, we're about to have a long ass experience, shit like that. So it's also like that with acid. And by the time acid is over with, you will feel like that entire 9 to 12 hours only lasted for 45 minutes. You see where it's like, you see where it does that thing where fucking time starts fucking with your head and shit like that.
It's like, oh man,
Within
it's
the
already over.
within the trip, every 30 minutes feel like 3 hours, but once the trip is over, that entire trip literally only felt like 45 to an hour. Like, you know,
Would you
it's
say
a
would you,
weird.
would you say that varies on how much you enjoyed the time itself?
It's not about how much you enjoy it. Like it has nothing to do with how much you enjoy it. It has nothing to do with your personal, like, people's personal experiences or surroundings or what they're doing, because they're very conscious, and everybody's going to be very conscious about it. And everybody's always gonna have that moment where it's like they check the time and it's like, what the fuck? Time is very different. Time is very different off psychedelics. I can definitely say that for a fact. I've done research on it, and it does messes with in the back of your brain, where it messes with like the natural understanding of time and stuff like that. It messes in the back, like it dead ass fucks with you. It's hard to make decisions. It's hard to operate on computers because it's like you're feeling this intense shit. But it's very fun. Shit is very funny as hell during your trips too, and you'll get to the state where you're like fucking. You will feel like a literal god with all this knowledge, and you start doing research on your computer, and you start gaining all this fucking knowledge and shit like that. You're just more curious. You just your body is feeding, like, you want this knowledge where you start talking about interesting things with your friends and shit like that you know so it's very interesting, and it's quite it's so ironic on how and where you can get your psychedelics. Like, people you can find psychedelics in frogs, bro. There's people that smoked frogs and experienced DMT. There's people that not literally smoke frogs, but like frogs produce like these different liquids that you can smoke. That's very safe, that you can smoke. And like, it's it's just, you got the mushrooms. So many ways that's just like completely natural, that you can just retrieve these different psychedelic medicines and stuff like that.
See, bro, you're really making me wanna go on a fucking trip. Cause I've always wanted to try acid. Cause I feel like once you do a couple of shroom trips, like maybe it's necessary to. Cause I know people have never even done shrooms, but have done acid.
Yeah, it's actually really hard to. It's also like, for some people, well, for some people, it's kind of hard to, like, talk about your experiences, because especially with people that actually haven't done it. Like, you're actually really cool. You're cool to talk about it because you're actually open minded about it. Other people, when they have their input, they be like, "Man, I don't need to take acid. I experience acid every fucking time. I be listening to my music and shit. Woo, woo." Okay, well, it's to those points where it's like, I can explain it to you, so you're just gonna have to find your own time. If you ever do it, you're gonna have to experience it for yourself. Because it's one of those things where language is so, like, so low in the communication spectrum, where like language vocally is not, it doesn't work trying to explain what you see and what you feel, because it is something that you have never felt a day in your life. You're not feeling high. It doesn't feel like you smoked the loudest dank on this entire planet. It doesn't feel like you ate 25 25 mushroom, not 25 mushroom, but 25 like brownies and like THC cookies. It doesn't feel like that. it feels crazier and different. That's definitely all I'm saying.
It ki- I really hope there's not anyone out there arguing those points that you said, because like it chemically does different things than,
Chemically, you
yeah.
can look like there. People, scientists have literally shown the brain and how the brain operates, and it's completely different. Like people literally say you are more conscious. There is a different state of consciousness that exists in your body. Not only that, DMT is DMT is not the drug itself. DMT is produced in the pineal gland of your brain, literally. And uh, once that DMT is released in your brain in the pineal gland, that's as soon as you start seeing dimensions. You won't see dimensions any other way. If you do see dimensions, that's how you know your DMT was released from your brain. And you can reach these states either through meditation, like heavy meditation, like monk level, or psychedelics. And it's your route. I mean, hey, it's your journey.
So
Meditation takes a long time, of course. If you just want to
so
experience it right now.
so would you say it's like a cheat code?
It's like, yeah, it's dead ass like a cheat code. Like if you want to
Up, down,
just,
left, right,
if
up,
you don't
down,
want to
right.
like, yeah, literally, you want to experience that God mode, yeah, just go ahead and pop this real quick, and you will be God. Other than that, it's a very challenging discipline when meditating, because it does take a very long amount of years. But once you reach it, the different thing is with meditation. Once you reach that state, you can just reach that state whenever you fucking want. That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part.
Oh,
And
who's that guy who was said to have reached nirvana, and they like opened up his casket like X amount of years later, like it was a lot, and like his body was like still better preserved with like nothing added to it than even
that's wild.
possible, because he had reached
That,
nirvana and his body was like in that just like state of like bliss, like, you know what I mean? It's
hmm
fucking.
I actually haven't even heard about that. That sounds crazy.
I can slide you an article about it, because I ain't capping.
I
I
would
ain't capping
definitely
on
read
this
into
one,
that.
because it's insane. It's like, damn,
I
like
would definitely read into that.
meditation fascinates me, but I don't think right now in my life I have the patience for it. But I'm
I
really open minded to
definitely
it.
I can honestly say the same. I don't have the discipline to take it to the level of
Mm-hmm.
being a monk and mastering meditation. Yes, I do meditate here and there. I feel like I'm too busy to put all of my time into meditation and not put my time into like certain crafts where I'm actually already trying to build as of right now. So, I already put my focus on to other things, and I try to make sure that I add a little bit of meditation here and there and make sure that I'm actually mentally capable of dealing with certain things in my life. Because meditation is preparation for death.
Yeah, you can look at it like
Facts.
that. You can look at it like that for sure,
Facts.
because it's just all about, focusing your heart, because nobody wants to die scared.
Nobody wants to die. You know, meditation is a preparation for death. It's all mentally.
I mean, think about it. Would you rather like fucking die by getting stabbed by some like fucking serial killer, or like die like fucking 80 years old surrounded by your family, like, oh, I'm
Yeah,
old,
it's
I'm gonna
in
go
your
now,
bed.
bye.
And, natural deaths. During natural deaths, when you're actually dying, your brain produces DMT
Yeah,
as soon as you
yeah.
die.
So what
It's
if you
that
were to ever get
same.
stabbed, like stabbed brutally, and you died?
If I
Would
was
you
getting
release
stabbed
DMT?
and if I was getting stabbed, all right, let's speak on that. If I was getting stabbed, you actually wouldn't die. I would pass out first and then die because like I'm losing blood. I wouldn't
Yeah,
die
yeah.
like, yeah. So I wouldn't actually be able to experience anything to actually know. I'm pretty sure my dreams would be absolutely crazy if I passed out first and then died. I feel like the dreams would be crazy as fuck, honestly.
The lights are probably still
Bef-
on a lot longer than you think in the brain. You know,
yeah, it definitely
the
is.
the lights are still on, but like the neurons are just all cut off. Because it comes to a point like if you're like suffering something like that, like being stabbed or something. I feel like I've read somewhere that like you just go into shock,
Yeah,
more or
that's what it
less,
is.
and you're like, fuck.
You're in shock. You can barely move and shit. You're basically paralyzed, just on the ground. Can't really do anything. You're trying to breathe, and also falling asleep will actually make you die quicker than staying alive. That's why you hear a lot of people like when they're in a hospital and they're bleeding out, you're like, don't fall asleep, don't fall asleep, stay up, and shit like that. Because like when you're bleeding out, you get very fucking tired. I'm talking about, it feels like someone just shot you like that fucking with the fucking IV of whatever that shit that makes people fall asleep in the hospitals. It's like that. Like you want to fucking sleep, and that's one thing you want to do, and that's how most people actually die from like certain wounds, because you can actually stay alive, but you don't want to feel the pain.
Mm-hmm.
And sleeping is like that last thing where you can literally escape the pain. So what you don't know is that most people actually end up taking themselves out their misery just by falling asleep. It's not that they didn't make it, it's just that, it feels like that's the better choice now. Like they know that they have 5 bullets in their body. They could die. The pain is completely painful. They're very tired. Falling asleep will make you escape that pain.
That's fair.
So people
Like
are
I would not fault anybody ever for that.
for real.
Nobody wants to be riddled with fucking bullets. Like be like, oh, all right, just take it out of me. I'll stay up for you guys. I mean, that's a
For real.
picture perfect like thing, but don't nobody want to sit through that and like suffer. Plus the repercussions of even being shot is just like most of the time tremendous. Like nobody gets shot and it's like, oh, I'm fucking hunky dory for the rest of my life. Like that's just not like. I mean, it does happen. Like people get shot and they're like, fine, whatever. But like, it's very rare.
Yeah,
It's very rare, and it also depends on what type of bullet you were shot with. It's very situational, I
exactly.
guess, but oh no, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, I haven't been shot. I don't know if you've been shot. Have you been shot?
I haven't been shot. I've been stabbed, but I haven't been shot.
You got stabbed.
It was
What
in a
happened?
fight. I got stabbed. Some nigga. All right, so I was in a fight. And uh, nigga had a broom, not a broom, a drumstick. It was a broken drumstick. So that means the wood was like sharp on the
Oh,
edge,
oh,
and he was like swinging the shit at me, and I tried to grab it from him. So we're just both holding it, and this nigga is like yanking it and shit like that, and he decides to like he tries to grab me, and I kind of like try to pick him up, but then like something happened where he basically like kind of landed like landed on top of me, but the drumstick was facing upwards from the grass, and I fell on top of the drumstick, and it just
oh,
stabbed in my stomach. And now there's
oh.
like a drumstick half inside my stomach. And if I was more conscious, instead of being like fucking pussy and scared and just yank the drumstick out and then I start bleeding and shit, I would have just left it in there and then like call the ambulance and shit like that. So that there won't be no internal bleeding and shit like that. And then the ambulance can do what the fuck they gotta do. But I was just so fucking traumatized. I was like, oh fuck. I'm like, just took it out. And then
Oh,
as soon as I took it out, that shit was completely drooling with blood and just
oh,
gushing, and I was like in absolute pain. I could barely fucking breathe. It was like, I
oh.
don't know. Like I started limping over to my house and shit. And the guy behind me was like, oh shit, oh fuck, shit, fuck. Like he didn't really mean to, but like, it was like one of those, like we didn't want it to escalate like that. But he didn't
You
really
were just
fucking mean
pissed
it.
off.
Yeah. So um I get inside my house, and I'm like my sister was there at the time. She was like, so I'm calling my sister. I'm like, Lexi, 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 because I can't fucking breathe and shit. And I sit on the couch, And she's like, "Oh shit, what the fuck happened?" And I'm like, "I got stabbed." So I look, and like I got the cut right here. So I look, and there's just this big ass fucking hole. It looks like a bullet wound, and
Ooh.
it's just bleeding all over my shirt. And the thing is, like, it could have been worse because I could have been infected. What happened was, uh, the drumstick went, like, the drumstick basically uh punctured through my skin, but also like with my shirt. So my shirt didn't rip, but my shirt was like in my stomach as well. If that makes sense.
Yeah, like where like it just kind of sucked in. Like, oh yeah, I know what you.
Yeah,
Oh
it
fuck.
basically sucked in. So my shirt really saved a lot because if it was just the drumstick, that shit would have just fell on top of this drumstick. I could have just that shit could have came out the other side of my
It could have
body or some
impaled
shit.
you, type. Oh my god. I can't even
I
talk. I'm like
know.
cringing hard. Wow. That's a
Yeah,
fucking.
she was
That's a.
crazy.
That's a fucking like clip for Instagram type shit. That's oh.
What? I wish I had a video of it. Like I wish I didn't have a video of it.
Oh fuck.
I went to the hospital, got stitches and shit like that, so I'm straight now. It's
You didn't
whatever.
puncture any like organs.
I bruised my intestines. I did bruise my intestines. Um, it kind of hurted whenever it was like just fucking food just going through my fucking guts and shit. There was a
I feel
point
it.
where over here I actually felt it, and it was like it hurt, but like it was I was actually very close to like it was so close to my bladder that would have been absolutely worse. I would have had to get like actual surgery because they said like the bladder is like very thin and very like just fucking. It's like one of those parts of the body where it's like can easily rip, and
Especially those fucking like jagged ass.
even a
Fucking.
drumstick with a shirt covering it could have like ripped my bladder and shit like that. So it's like it was a wild experience.
Shoot somebody in the fucking bladder. That'd be a dick
I
move.
know, right?
I'd be
I
like
would have been
fucking
fucking sad if that shit just like hit my dick or some shit. Like, I would have been fucking. I would have
bro.
listened because it was
You
like
got a
this
whole ass
close.
hole
Like
in
it's
your
right
dick.
here. I would be so sad. I would be like Lil Dicky from his fucking show I'm Dave, where he talks about having like a hole in his dick and shit.
I haven't seen that shit. I need to watch it.
You should. It's a really good show, man. I'm
Is it
telling you.
funny? Is it like goofy?
Hella funny. This. Oh my god, the first episode you'd be wheezing. This nigga fucked a dog. This nigga fucked a sex doll, and once he nutted, he looked up, and it was a fucking Drake picture right in front of him, just looking like that. Shit was so fucking hilarious.
Bruh.
Just
That's sus.
you
That's sus.
should. Hella sus, but that's what made it so fucking hilarious.
Was it just like one season?
Currently there's one season. I'm pretty sure they're probably making another season,
I mean,
but
yeah.
there's one season right now.
I haven't heard one bad thing about it, so I don't see why they wouldn't.
It's great. I recommend it totally.
Where the fuck is Lil Dicky been, bruh? I guess just making I Am Dave or whatever the hell.
Yeah, probably investments and shit like that, Like certain artists, when you don't hear from them a lot, they're usually dealing with like making a lot of shit ton of money, like shit ton of money, uh, from other aspects and shit. Like whether it's through stocks, investments, flipping houses, whatever. They're dealing with a lot of other businesses and shit like that. For an example, like Frank Ocean, sometimes you don't hear a lot from Frank Ocean because he's making a lot of money like through other sources and stuff like that rather than music.
It's like, damn. There's go getters in general.
Facts.
I feel like things like that are like stocks and shit. It's like something anybody could get into though. Like flipping houses, stocks with like the right amount of
They
credit and the
can.
right amount of money. Know how,
They,
obviously too. It's all about know how. So
oh yeah.
this has been long as fuck. I don't want to push it any further. So, are there any shout outs you want to give to anybody?
Um. So Of course, just dropped a song with my boy Wave High. Shout out Wave High. Shout out everybody in 444. I love you all. Shout out Meth Heads. That's my boys over there. Shout out Millie, who's just here. Uh, uh all my boys. I really appreciate everybody for supporting me. I'm glad that I'm actually in a community where they are not judgmental. They let everybody be who they want to be. That's the best thing that's the best surroundings that you're gonna be around. You don't want anybody that's always telling you what you should do and shit like that. Just do whatever the fuck you want to do, you know. Um, but yeah, man. Shout out to so many of my friends. You know who you are because I speak to you every day, and yeah, that's really it. Um, this is the motherfucking in the sky. We are in the sky. We hella high. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah, that's it. It
Hey,
shit's lit.
that would have been awkward.